You are tuning in to the You Are Loved podcast, where we hope to bring love and kindness to the world.
Welcome to another You Are Loved podcast where we have the amazing Tanisha Naughton with me today, who she helps empower corporate women struggling with burnout to overcome feelings of shame and guilt through self-love retreats and inner child play. Through her guidance, they find joy, release stress, and rediscover their authentic selves. Welcome, Tanisha. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Hi, Jacqueline. Thank you for having me.
So, what does that mean? Like your inner child play? Can you expound on that?
Yeah, so it's pretty much little you. So what little Tanisha or little Jacqueline would love to be doing and getting back to that. So for me, it was playing sports and video games. It's really just finding your passions and focusing on that as a way of healing, having more fun in your life. Whereas adults, we tend to take life way too seriously.
Okay. Sorry about that. I was just having a little bit of connection issues right in the middle of that. So, okay. So it's just really kind of like getting back with like your inner self.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
it does. So the little that and the little you. So what the little kid version of you would have wanted to be doing that made them fun and have enjoy their life more. So I was saying that as adults, we take life too seriously. And so we need to find a way to get back into that little 6, 7, 8 year old.
Oh, yes, yes, that was, like, carefree, didn't have to worry about
Mhm.
bills, life, all that stuff. Like, "Can I go take a nap, please?" Now, like, as an adult, I'm like,
Right.
"Listen, I need some nap time, okay?"
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's like for me, it's my quote unquote bedtime. As a kid, we had bedtimes. Now I feel like I have to give myself a bedtime to be able to get the adequate amount of sleep. So it's interesting how some things circle back around.
Yep, yep, and so what really had you move into this and, like, circle back into this? Can you share some of your story with us?
Yeah, so there's two different points in my story, but they merge together. So one, I started off with the wellness empowerment coaching because my mom had diabetes and I helped her get off her meds. I helped her go vegan and be able to live a life without having to focus on going to the doctor. She had went temporarily blind, so I really wanted to focus on more alternative medicine with her.
Mhm.
And within that, I was 30 pounds heavier and I lost the weight while going vegan with her. So cooking these healthier meals, learning about essential oils, acupuncture, all these different things that I never knew about. But at the same time, I'm a former social worker and I was working in foster care, and it's a high demanding job. And I was ultimately stressed. Like when you're dealing with a caretaker, you're kind of in survival mode, but you're not
Yeah.
realizing it. Yeah, so I was just focused on her health and getting her better. And I was in a relationship that wasn't serving me as well, plus a job that I wanted to leave. So
Mm.
it went from what I didn't know as burnout at that time, and it went straight to depression because I was having a hard time sleeping for weeks on end. And
Yeah.
this was 2015, 2016. We weren't talking about burnout. That wasn't something that was
Mm-mm.
a term. So that was the first time that it happened to me, but I wasn't aware of the term, and then it kept happening. So when I left Georgia, I'm sorry, when I left New York to come to Georgia, start full-time entrepreneurship, that was another time trying to learn how to become this entrepreneur. And then it hit again when I was just trying to figure out life and what is my path now? What's my purpose? So it's helped me, I guess, to become this person. In a way, you have to go through the storms to be able to help others and really understand what they're going through.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm now focusing on it. And the play is because I am one to be more of a type A, got to get my stuff done no matter what. I don't take breaks. You just have to keep going. That's how I was raised to
Yeah.
be a hard worker. So the overachiever in me eventually hit rock bottom. And what has helped me so much besides energy work and eating better has been going back to the things I love, has been going
Mm.
back to sports, going back to the video games, going back to writing poetry, stuff that I always did as a kid and didn't even think about it. But when I became this adult, I'm like, I can't do that. I can't watch cartoons. Like that's silly. That's for kids, you know? And it's like, who made these crazy rules up?
Right, 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 right. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes like my best friend, he bought me a PlayStation and then like so my agreement was like I'll play with him sometimes, but sometimes it's great like on a Friday or Saturday night and I just hang out in the house, get in my lounge chair and then just like pull up
Yeah,
the TV and like play video games and stuff with him and we just are on the phone on speaker and just hanging out, you know.
yeah,
And then if
yeah.
I can't get passed around, he takes over for me and gets me passed around.
Look, it's all good. It's something that you're not focused on your day to day, and that's what's
Yeah,
important. You know, it could be dancing at home, whatever you loved doing as a kid is what I tell every woman to just focus on that. I don't care what it is.
yeah, yeah. So that's awesome. So you also were in personal trainer as well, right? So what
Yeah,
that's part of your story, right? Like
yeah,
what you did there.
yeah, yeah.
So that helped you get back down. Um that helped you get back down to the like the I guess you said of 30 pounds or something like that. And did your mom start going to the gym with you?
No, no. So
No?
my mom does more home workouts and she walks to work pretty often. So that's her thing. She does hers, I
Okay.
do mine. Actually, the personal training was something that I was incorporating into my business at the time. But really and truly, what helped a lot was mountain biking and hiking is what I did because that was also a way of me getting back to my inner child. I love to bike ride. My bike was my
Yeah.
car as a kid, you know?
Yeah.
So that I did the most probably during that time, except for the winter um, winter time that we have here up north.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I was going to the gym, but what I realized the most, which is why I focus so much more on what we eat, is I stopped actually working out for about 3, 4 months just to
Uh-huh.
see how my body would feel with eating right. And I was still able to have my abs. I was still able to feel as I lost the weight, gradually. And I was
Yeah.
like, wow, abs are really made in the kitchen. So that became my focal point. And then just having a consistent movement, schedule in the
Yeah.
week to help me. But now for me, working out is more for my mental than it is for my physical. Like I'm not trying to have these crazy goals. It's just something that helps me stay on track, keep the mobility, the flexibility, and of course, if you want to shred, you can. If you want to get to your muscles, you can do that. But it's changed so much my relationship with working out because I'm a former college basketball athlete. So that's all I did,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
it was kind of like it was the reverse. It was I could eat whatever I want, but as long as I could lose it, it's great, you know.
Yeah.
Until I got hit with, oh wow, I've been working out, but I'm also drinking a lot, and I'm doing things I shouldn't, but I'm still going to the gym. So
Yeah.
that's why when people say like, oh well, I work out, that's literally like a half of the equation, to
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. I had stopped like all sugar and starches and wheat and stuff like that, bread and everything. And within like 2 weeks, I lost like 15 pounds. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And I felt less bloated. I reincorporated a little bit of sugar back into my diet. Now my face broke out. So I'm like, okay, my body doesn't like that. So
Mhm.
I'm going to have to like say, okay, no to that because I'd rather, have great looking skin and not feel like crap, you know?
Yeah, no, and that really goes to like my tagline of like reclaiming your health and falling back in love with yourself. You
Yeah.
understanding yourself and what your body likes and what it doesn't like is part of the process. It's awareness is really the biggest thing on this wellness journey.
So, so now, so you've like, what all does it consist of for yourself? Like, what your workshops, your coaching, and so forth. What does all that consist of? Like, if someone wanted to come and hire you, like, what could they expect?
So much, but I always try to break it down because my gifts are like all over the place within the wellness space, which I love because it's a
Yeah.
one-stop shop. So if you're coming for one-on-one coaching, for example, we're always looking at like what's your blood type, what are the things you're allergic to, but also where's your mindset? Because that is the biggest part. That's why I mentioned the awareness. Like, where are you on your journey? Are you in a
Hmm.
space where you're ready to make boundaries with people, where if it's girls' night, it's Friday, and you know you really want to drink? But it's not in your best interest today, are you gonna say yes or say no, or are you gonna people please and go out?
Mm.
So you have to be in a state to be ready to have a one-on-one coach. And so those are questions. I do a lot of self-love journaling prompts with people to uncover, because the reason why you can't say no could be linked to something that happened in your childhood where maybe you were neglected or you felt like you always had to say yes. And people don't put the mindfulness with the wellness together. And that's something that is the biggest thing of my
Mhm.
one-on-one coaching, is getting you to see the patterns in your life that have led you up to here as to why you have these health issues going on with yourself, as to
Yeah.
why you're not loving on yourself. From there, it could be looking at how is a woman's menstrual cycle going. I talk a lot about herbs. Herbalism is my biggest thing, showing people how they can detox with herbs, how you can lose weight with herbs. It can help your acne, your period, literally go to sleep. There's so many herbs for that, and how we can make tinctures as well. So that's kind of like those wellness workshops where that comes
Mhm.
in. And overall, it's really just working on the burnout, working on what are those boundaries that you need help with, how I can help you push that and move forward and break through those barriers that are in front of you. And then the food lifestyle changes just kind of happens, intertwines within that, and giving you some recipes that can help you, and some drinks also. Because if someone is like trying to stop drinking, it could be mocktails, for example, that are very tasty, not as sugary, and taste
Yeah.
good and healthy.
Yeah.
So that's that one-on-one aspect. But the retreats, it's really just having 8 to 9 women come together. Could be in Georgia, sometimes out the country, where we are just forming this sisterhood, the community, and we're learning how to take time for self. So
Mm.
that's more, yeah, a pause of, I literally will have people just sit in silence, which is something not a lot of people do, and they're so uncomfortable with it too, because self-care can be viewed as like I have to have my hair, my nails done and go to the movies. And that is a portion, but like how often do you go within? So at the retreats we do that, but then the playful part is having an open mic night, dancing by the fire, which is a form of release work too. It's showing
Mhm.
how like that healthy side can still be fun. Everything doesn't have to be daunting. Wellness doesn't have to be so hard. And to show them that I have a chef where they're cooking more plant-based foods that are more of like a Southern cuisine. And people
Mhm.
are like, I didn't think, we can have mac and cheese still, but it's just changing the ingredients and still making it tasty.
Mm.
That's really what I try to show the most, and then, of course, there's meditation and journaling at those retreats as well. But, yeah, the biggest thing is just, like, let's have fun together, let's have a movie night, and just not focus on your kids, your spouse, your job, just you, but within people who are like-minded and who wanna share these same type of stories and heal together and grow together. It's more of a personal development. So within those, I also bring those into, any type of company that would want to do that for their employees and help them with their burnout and stress. But that can be a little bit more, not challenging, but just a different level, because that's a lot more people.
Yeah.
And, this type of work is better for smaller groups, but it can be done over time, depending on what they're looking for when they want to hire a
Yeah.
wellness consultant.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I think that would be great, like, especially a lot of larger corporations and stuff like that, especially with their like higher level executives or who are putting in like 60, 70, 80 hours a week that are not great with boundaries for their own personal health and well-being, but are getting burnout and giving up or and really just being able to help instill some of that other stuff, some of those other techniques and boundaries and balancing themselves out into their life, right? So I always wanted to be that woman that wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, goes to the gym, works out, but that's just not me. I'm like, I'll go to the gym at like 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock or in the afternoon or evening or whatever. But I'm just not an early morning person. And I finally had to come to the grass and be okay with that. So
Yeah, and that's fine. And I think that that's fair. Like, what I don't know. I feel like the early gym rat, because I used to be that person. Like that's what people tell you you should be. And the
yeah,
biggest thing, like when someone's working with me or when groups are working with me, there is no shame, no guilt. Everybody is different.
yeah,
You don't have to try and match me. I don't have to try and match you. If 2 o'clock in the afternoon works for you, but you get it
yeah,
done, that's all that matters. And that's
yeah,
the biggest thing with women. We feel that we have to fit the mold, but we're not meant to. I mean, we literally change every 28 to 31 days. Like how can we try to be up, try and look like a man or try to be like the next woman? it's impossible. So that's probably the
Yeah.
biggest thing I try to motivate within women is like, be yourself, be authentic, and whatever suits you, but you're moving no matter what. If you get it in 5 days a week, that's great. If three works for you, that's cool too. But you're doing something, which is better than nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 100% true. So, yeah, because yeah, and I think that's also part of coming to an acceptance and being okay with who we are and not having to live up to some expectation that we put on ourselves. Because when I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm like tired and exhausted by 6 p.m. So,
Yeah.
I'm like good for a good
Yeah.
12 to, but if I wake up a little bit later, I can stay up later, at night
Yeah.
and stuff. So yeah, so that's exciting. So when was the last time you guys did a retreat?
Yeah, so the retreat that we had last, I'm sorry, because this year has went like this. Actually, was at the end of 2023, because this year has been just focusing a lot more on wellness workshops, doing a lot more interviews. So it was just changed a little bit more. So yeah, 20 September 2023 had one here in Georgia, and it was really nice because I collabed with someone. So we had Sister Circle, we had the meditation, we had the chef as well. And we had this amazing dancing circle that we did, which I love
Mhm.
because I that's probably like one of my favorite things to do with them. And we actually made our own herbal skin oil, which I held a workshop on that. And
Mm.
it was nice for people to realize like this took maybe 10 minutes to do, but it's something that's completely natural. There's no toxins, no chemicals going on your skin, and you made it. Like I just walked them through it, and that's the
Mhm.
empowerment piece that I love to see people walk away with. And now they have this gift that like they made. And so that
Yeah.
always warms my heart up at those type of workshops that we do.
Have you ever been to Jejun Spa
N-
in Duluth?
n- no, but I've heard of it. It's
It's
definitely on
great.
my list. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they have, like, inside, it's, like, all these different saunas and stuff that they have in there to do
Mhm.
different things. They have, which I love, doing, but it's like a full body scrub. Really, like, you
Ooh.
just lay naked on the bed. It's
Okay.
women that do it, right? It's
Yeah,
only women
yeah.
in this section, and then it's, like, the Asian ladies, and it's like a full down, like, scrub, but your skin feels just so amazing and
Mm.
soft, and then they add in, like, a cucumber thing and
Mm-mm.
wash your hair for you. It's like this whole great,
Oh.
and then they take a bucket and just throw water on you and stuff to
Oh.
rinse you off. And then they have that. They have a section for massages, but I'm super picky when it comes to massages. And I tried it one time, but I was like, no. And then they even have like other like women, rejuvenation things that they have for that, and a hot tub that you like just, sit in, and it's just really great. So
Yeah, it
yeah.
sounds like definitely sounds like my vibe. I'm here for it. I do love a good massage, so I will have to try that part
Yeah.
out. But yeah,
But
I love that.
you could always do like a retreat there, because one of the nice things about it is that you could organize it with them and see if they're open to doing anything, because they do have an area for food and kitchen and stuff,
Oh,
and you can stay overnight, like not
ah,
multiple nights, but you
yeah,
can
yeah.
stay overnight, and it's on the floor. It's like with a pad that has like a little pillow on it, and then you lay on that. So you could end up doing something like that,
Uh,
for like an over the night thing for some ladies, and kind of have this
yeah,
24-hour
access.
rejuvenation, and sit down in the in the dining area.
Mhm,
You sit on like pillows and stuff. It's
mhm.
really
Yeah,
very pretty cool. It's a great experience. So
yeah, I love that. That's very holistic. So that's definitely within.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and again, those pampering time too is nice for the
Yes.
body. Yeah, body work is so important.
Yeah. So that's really cool. And so are you still doing personal training and stuff, or are you more moved into just like the coaching and
Mhm.
retreats and so forth?
Yeah, so more so the coaching, but there's movement within anybody who works with me knows that they're going to do movement. It's just not the like, give me 10 reps, because a lot of the work I do now is virtual, except for the retreats and the workshops. So
Yeah.
coaching is anybody can have me as a coach anywhere in the world. So less on the personal training side and more of just like, let's do some movement, maybe do Pilates today. It doesn't always have to be going to the gym. But if that's your thing, like go for it. So yeah, more of the empowerment coaching.
Okay. So what made you decide to like go vegan?
Yeah, that was my mom.
Oh,
Not,
really?
yeah, it was the situation that I was in. So, like I said, she went temporarily blind, and this was all I did was eat meat all my life, and
Yeah.
that's what she was doing up until that point where she went temporarily blind. You're on all these medications, and
And
nothing
she
is
was type 2
working.
diabetes?
Hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and nothing's working. She's lethargic. I'm seeing my mom come down the stairs and exhausted. And
Mm.
so it was a scary time, for me. I
Yeah.
kind of sometimes like graze over it, but in the time I was scared, and I'm like, I don't know what else to do, but I'm seeing these videos on like people like Dr. Sabi who are talking about going vegan, going alkaline, and how it's helping. So once I saw the results, like because we went back to her doctor about a year and a half later, and he was like, I don't know what your daughter's done, but you don't have to worry about your meds anymore. Like you're okay. And I was like, well, if this worked, why
Yeah.
would I go? Especially how I lost the weight too. I'm like, I feel better. If you had seen me like years ago, I've had black spots, from my acne. And my period is better. Like everything got better.
Uh-huh.
So why go back to something
Yeah.
that I was doing before? And I never push the lifestyle on anyone. I'm more plant-based too, so I try not to have as much processed foods because I always say
Yeah.
vegan doesn't mean
Yeah.
healthy,
Yeah.
so and if you do eat meat, like, well, are you eating grass-fed? Are you eating more organic? Most people don't do that on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just go back and make a quick, simple meal. I can, do some chili with some beans and I'm good. It doesn't,
Do you
my
do,
meal
like,
time got
whey
shorter.
protein shakes and stuff like that to get your protein
No,
in?
no. So I don't do a lot of manufactured processed stuff. So
Uh-huh.
I found different ways like hemp protein. It's coming from a seed. It's natural, 100%.
Okay.
So I'll do that. You can even grind up
Spinach.
like chickpeas. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I do it. Walnuts, cashews. I make my own cashew milk. So I'm using what, as I always say, Mother Nature already gave us. I don't need to go
Yeah.
to a GNC store and buy a protein shake. I can make my own. I can use
Yeah.
tahini and that adds in more protein, more, which is really just amino acids. Like there's so many plants that give that too. You just have to know. And that's
Yeah.
why I have, meal recipes for people where it's already done for you. So you don't have to think too much because
Yeah.
I've already done this work. And if the small answer is like, I feel amazing. So I wouldn't go back. Like I literally, when there's pictures and people are like, "How old are you?" I'm like, I look like I never left 27, and I'm here for
Yeah.
that. So so to me, I'm like, yeah, this is pretty good. This is a good life.
Yeah. So your mom really decided to go vegan first,
Well, it was
or you
together.
helped? Okay, you
I
guys
helped.
did it together.
Yeah,
And
because
then so
I was making the meals.
how's your mom doing now?
She's great. Yeah, my mom looks young and most people think we're sisters. So
Uh-huh.
she is living her life. She's walking, going to work. She works out. She does everything a 60-something-year-old woman would be doing that's thriving and living a healthier lifestyle.
And
And my
so
mom
she's off
still,
the medication.
mhm.
She's just she reversed her diabetes and all that stuff.
Yeah, so they call it pre-diabetic because, like I said, with vegan doesn't always mean healthy. So
Yeah.
if my mom was to start eating crap again, which she has slipped, but if she does it consistently again,
Yeah.
then she can go back.
Yeah, of
So
course.
so that's why I always am like caution with the word like reverse because the way someone eats can always it can come
Yeah, of
back.
course. Yeah,
You
because your
know,
body and it would be more susceptible the second or third or whatever time around because yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm always on her. I mean, we don't live together now, but she'll have fish here and there, and I let her do her thing. Like she's older, but for the time that
Yeah.
it was those 2 years, yeah, for the most part, she did that, and I was so proud of her too because she didn't have to. She could have fought me on that.
Yeah.
So because it was a big lifestyle change, but I think because I cooked the meals, like I learned how to
Yeah,
cook
you made it
vegan.
easier for her
Hmm.
and helped her with that transition and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, and now she cooks vegan meals. But I'm going home soon, and she was like, "I'll make you your vegan mac and cheese." So it's nice because now
Yeah.
she could take over. She knows how to do things, which is that empowerment piece. She knows
Yeah.
what to do now.
That's awesome. So with like some of your like clients, what would you say is probably one of the biggest transitions that you've seen outside of your mom or yourself, with maybe like one of your customers, with one of your clients that have come through and has gone through like an amazing transition?
Yeah, so two come to mind. One was we started off with weight loss. This a woman was getting ready for her wedding, and she thought that she just wanted to lose weight, but she was having a problem with cooking. Like she would cook these big luxurious meals for her soon to be husband because in her mind she thought that that's what she had to do. And
Yeah.
so when she met with me, I was like, yeah, I could definitely help you lose the weight, like no problem. But I want to ask you some questions. And some of those were like, did your spouse, ask you to make these type of meals? We were doing a lot of journaling questions, but it was, back and forth conversation.
Yeah.
And then I would give her some homework. And she was like, no, he didn't. I was like, okay, so then what is it with inside of you that is making you do this? Because you're also hurting yourself. I was like, and also making two different meals, that can be a lot too for
Yeah.
people. And what it ended up being was a trauma linked to her seeing her mom do everything for her
Yeah.
dad, thinking like that's what you're supposed to do. And being in the kitchen is just like the responsibilities that come. But her spouse was okay with it has simple meal that would be more healthy and nutritious. And
Yeah.
she was like, "I never thought about it." And then we went down the rabbit hole with her and her dad, and it was beautiful to see, like, the different layers of the onion, like, just unraveling. You could just see, like, the light bulb click in her,
Yeah.
and then from there, it was, like, tackling that first, and then we started talking about, like, "Okay, well, these are the type of meals you can make. You wanna cook Italian food? That's cool. Let's change this fatty oil for this oil." Something very small, and that's the biggest thing I see with all my clients is that they think we're gonna make these big leaps. And I focus the most on small sustainable habits because that's the only way I can get you to make these changes. If I asked you right now to like, make a vegan meal, twice, three times a week, you probably look at me crazy. But if I say, let's replace lunch with something that's vegan and you can still have your meat for dinner, which is what I did with her, it was eye-opening to be like, I don't have to put all this pressure on myself.
Yeah.
And so we walked through her shame and her guilt, and now she's making vegan meals more consistently, and her husband loves it. So it was like, okay, now he's on board, and she is putting herself first, which is something that she wasn't used to doing.
Okay. All right. So, which is absolutely amazing. And not only that, but she'll be happier about herself and he'll be happier with her as well because she'll feel more confident and feel
Mhm.
better. And then now it probably also triggered her to say, instead of me just assuming stuff with him, let me ask him, which could open up better communication and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. And the other one that I'm thinking of, so she was a mom of two kids, and for
Okay.
her, she had it's an autoimmune that I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but it would flare up a lot for different foods that she was eating. So with her, it was more of a process of elimination of walking down, like, how do you feel, and making a journal of like this. Well, how do you feel when you eat this? How do you feel when you eat that? Are you more bloated? Is your back hurting you more? And she never really had someone take that approach with her,
Yeah.
but she was worried about her kids, and she's like, "Well, what are they gonna eat?" And also, I don't wanna keep doing certain medications like, I don't what is the cough medicine that most people take? Robitussin, that's one of
Oh,
them.
wow.
Um,
Okay.
but Robitussin, a lot of these, like NyQuil, that was the other one I was thinking about, has a little bit of alcohol in it, so she just didn't wanna be giving them to her kids anymore. She wanted something that was more natural. So I showed her how to make herbal tinctures, how to make herbal teas when her kids get sick, and also when her whole family gets sick. So for her, it was, okay, I'm mastering my health. I'm co-creating how to have this best experience in my household.
Right.
I'm taking on this responsibility and making sure that everybody is good. It's not just me. But it trickled down from exploring, like, okay, well, how can I do this and make it easy? Because she needed like quick steps. As a mom, you don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I could show you how to make a 5-minute tincture. Like we could do this together and we would do it on the
What's a
call.
tincture? 'Cause I've
Yeah.
heard you
So
mention that a few times. What is that?
yeah, so a tincture is where you usually most people will take alcohol and an herb, let's say elderberry, and you
Uh-huh.
pour the vodka over the herb and you let it sit for a couple of months.
Oh, wow, okay.
But because she had small kids, and so I don't really drink that much. I've went on my own journey of like eliminating, for the most part, alcohol from my lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I use vegetable glycerin, which is easy. You could literally get it from most health stores or Amazon, and it's the same thing. You pour it over the herbs, you let it sit for about a month, and then you're gonna strain it, and then it gives you the tincture, which is a liquid form that you take in a drop, and you can put that underneath
Mm.
your tongue. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you about
No, no, no.
the
It's okay.
yeah.
No, no, no. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and like you're just so used to the term. So I'm glad you asked because someone out there might not know either.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. But yeah, for her, it was just becoming like the master chef in her household. Like the kitchen is where we heal. The kitchen
Yeah.
is where we feel better, where love goes, where we have the best meals. But we want to make sure that those meals are good, but we also want to make sure that we're able to, should we get sick, be able to take care of ourselves. And the
Yeah.
woman is usually the person to do that. So for her, it was this self-empowerment to be like, oh, I can do this, because before it seemed so far removed to do these things. She was like, no, I have to have like a chef, which is fine too. Like if you're able to afford that to cook you healthier meals. But when we actually walk through these cooking classes together, it made life so much easier for her to see like, this is very doable, this is very attainable. And now her kids help her with doing these things. So it's a nice big like family situation.
Okay. That's awesome. So, yeah, so that also helps bring them together as a family, be healthier, learn better choices, and really be a better role model for your children, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I was growing up, my mom was like, pull a TV dinner out of the microwave and heat it up. I mean, out of the freezer and heat it up in the microwave, you know?
Yeah. 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 Different
She's like,
times
look
now.
up a recipe. That's what her thing was. Look up a recipe. I was like, okay. I was like,
Here you go.
thanks, mom. I appreciate that. So
Well, she was doing the best she could what she
my
had at the
mom was
time,
doing the
right?
best she could. Yeah, she worked a couple jobs
Yeah.
and did what she could to take care of me. So, okay, so that's amazing. So, when is your next retreat?
Yeah, so that is in the making. I'm not sure yet on the exact date. Of originally, I was doing it April 25th to the 28th of 2025, and right
Okay,
now I'm still figuring out like if I'm gonna use the location that I have still, or if I want to switch. So the dates are locked in, but I'm just not sure yet on the
what
exact
where
place.
you're gonna have that? Yeah, I love your
Yeah.
landing page.
Thank you, thank you.
I,
So it's still up there, like, people can register, if they're interested, like I said, April 25th to 28th. It will be in Georgia no matter what, though. That
okay,
is definitely official, so yeah, just figuring out some things. I love the space that I have, but something that feels like a change is coming, and I can't really put my
mm,
finger on it, just spiritually and getting in alignment with myself in this business more and more.
yeah.
So we're gonna see. But yeah, I say if anyone's interested, definitely click. I know it'll be in the show notes, the landing page. You can sign up, put your email, and you'll consistently get information about those updates.
Okay, yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, so I'll sign up for that. If
Yep.
you ever need any like stuff for your grab bags or whatever, we do a our journal digitally is free.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's the Your Love journal. So we have
Yeah.
little cards and stuff that we put for a retreat grab bags and stuff like
Okay.
that.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So people could always, download it and get something free and
Absolutely.
it's a little added value, I would think. But
Yeah.
so, okay, cool.
Cool.
Eh, what is probably like your top like one or two books that you've either read or done through
Mm,
Audible that's helped you to continue to develop your mindset and
yeah.
even push you more into entrepreneurship?
I love this question because I'm such a bookworm. So it might be hard picking two, but um with entrepreneurship, right? That's helped me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you hear it, probably won't think like it's an entrepreneurship book, but for me, entrepreneurship is a lot about mindset. So it was Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
strong book.
yeah, I read it. I think it was last year. I was like, wow, this really hits because everyone is always like, oh, so many things are stopping me. What really and truly the thing that's stopping us is ourselves. And it's
Yeah.
getting that awareness of like, well, why do I act certain ways? Why won't I push forward on this, but I'm so passionate about this, and gain that clarity. And he's very big on like being clear on what you want, going after it. And I'm like, okay, this is what I need. It's to put more positivity into my mind while I'm on this journey of trying to build this, enterprise of helping as many women as I can. But, we all have doubts and fears, and it's conquering those. So that book was
Mm.
definitely helpful with that. And just even his viewpoints on like the school system of how we should be having more like natural information and free information in this world. It's like, I love this. It's funny because right now I'm reading Think and Grow Rich again for the second time from him as well.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. It's like just be so clear on your goal, so clear on your desire, and like don't let anything shake you from it.
Yeah.
So I'd say right now, just because I'm reading it right now, that those two books, but I know there's like, ah, it escapes. It's something about habits, the power of habit.
Seven habits of highly effective people.
No,
Maybe it's the power of habits.
the power. Yeah, I wish I remember the guy's name right now, but I don't. But it is the power of habit, and it's just about having these kind of like how I mentioned small sustainable habits. It's these small habits that build you up over time.
By
So
Charles Duhigg.
yes, yes,
Yeah, it's the
yes,
yellow. Let's see
yep,
here. I think
yep.
something like that. There we go.
Yes,
You
it's
can
that
see it
book.
now.
Yes, yes, yes.
There we
Thank
go.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that book
Yeah.
was transformational with just setting up my day as an entrepreneur. So even my workout was on my calendar. Every schedule was blocked.
What's so crazy is that I was listening to a podcast earlier today. It's like how I built it. It's like he interviews these entrepreneurs and stuff. And it was this guy that had basically got into like the brewery market, and it was like the IPA, but it was a non-alcoholic beer. And then now he's like one of the top 4 IPA companies just in beer in general, but his is non-alcoholic. And he had talked about this book right here,
Oh,
The
yes.
Alchemist, that I
Yeah.
literally was I've started and have started listening to on Audible.
That's a great book. I've read that too.
Have you?
Beautiful.
Okay. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. So
Yeah.
and you have a podcast yourself?
Yes. Yeah. So my podcast is called The Self-Love Sanctuary. So if
I love
you
that.
Thank you. Yeah, you look up my name and yeah, you'll see it. So it's everything that we're talking about here from burnout to wellness, mindset, play, the power of play, and just sharing my story with women, taking them on a journey well, right now it's in the first season. So I launched it a couple of weeks ago. So I'm pretty excited that that's now out. So that's something definitely the listeners can take a follow. It's on Spotify and YouTube for right now, and it'll be on Apple Podcasts in a little bit.
Okay, self-love. It's now if I do your name, right?
Hmm.
It's just oh, okay, hold on, because it looks like there's a few self-love
Yeah, there should be a blue heart with mine.
sanctuaries. Okay, Tanisha. Okay, so I will have the links underneath the podcast.
Mhm.
Um, so that way we'll have that as well. That's going to the Spotify. You have it on Apple Podcasts yet? That's what I'm looking on.
No, 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 not yet. That's the last thing that I gotta do. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know it's such a I
Y-
know it used to be, which is probably why I haven't put stuff out on Spotify yet. It's because I'm just having like anxiety of having to like redo all the stuff again, even though I've done it
mhm.
before and know how to do it or can figure it out again pretty easily, but it's not something I do every day.
Yeah.
But having to reconnect your RSS feed and all that stuff for
Mhm.
Apple Podcasts and everything. But I will do this. That's why, because you're not on. I was looking on Apple.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Spotify and
um
YouTube.
so that's amazing. Okay, yeah. So I will have that on here.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think I have both of those books too.
Yeah, definitely take a read. They are amazing books. It makes
Yeah.
you think so much, and you're like, oh, there's so many nuggets.
Yeah, I mean, reading really does help us open up our mind, you know?
Hmm.
Oops, there's actually a Tanisha podcast out there.
Oh, that's an
'Cause that's what I typed in here instead of, there's a one called A Chat with Tanisha Naughton.
no, that must be a podcast interview that I did. That's not a podcast I have.
Oh, that's with Nova Chats or something like
Yeah,
that.
that was an interview that I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, wait, no. I'm the only one that I know out here. No.
Okay. All right. I'll click on the link. I have it in my
Yeah,
email. I'll just click
yeah,
on it
yeah,
and see. So yeah.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
we'll definitely have that out there for everyone to choose. Is there any last thing you'd like to share, Tanisha, with our audience today? And if they had one place that they had to like find you to be able to either get in contact with you or learn more about you or anything like that, what would be the one link is the best place for them to go?
Yeah, so I'd say the website, so www.mswellnessllc.com. That's it.
mswellnessllc.com.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, you can book a consultation with me there. You want to sign up for our freebie because I also have for your listeners a anti burnout ebook that's free that they can.
That's
Oh,
great.
yeah, I sent that to you so they can have. You can put that in the show notes. But if you go onto the website, you can automatically, be in the email system and get that too. So it
Okay.
just makes everything very streamlined, very easy. Um, yeah, that's the simplest thing. Um,
Okay. Oh, I love your intro video here that you
oh,
have.
thank you. You're in real time here.
That's great. Okay. Well, Tanisha, thank you so much for hopping on today. I
Yeah,
truly appreciate it.
thanks
It
for
was a
having me.
pleasure to have you. And I'll let you know as soon as this goes out.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Thank you for
Okay.
having me again.
All right. Thank you.
All
Okay.
right,
All
bye.
right. Bye. Thank you again, everybody, for hopping on for another You Are Loved podcast. Make sure you check us out at youareloved.store for all of our latest journals and planners. We have a new planner coming out next month for next year, and it has a budget tracker, more daily wellness, like all kinds of really cool stuff. So I look forward to connecting with you guys and speaking with you soon. Thank you. And here you go.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of You Are Loved. If you have any topic ideas or would like to be a guest on the show, please hit us up on Instagram at youareloved.store.